All right. Can everybody see the agenda?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So thank you for joining us for the September Indiana Recovery Network monthly meeting. And happy Recovery Month, everyone. I am anticipating we may have a smaller group because it is such a busy month for us here with all the amazing events happening around the state. But that's okay, no worries. We still have a lot of good information to share. And then again, at the end of the meeting, if we have time, that'll be your opportunity to share about what you're doing in the state, information about your program services and all that good stuff. Our presenters today include, we'll have a presentation from Aspire Mockingbird Hill. So we have Bruce joining us for that. And then the Indiana Faith and Recovery Conference that is coming up. So Amy Brinkley will be our presenter. And then last, our presenter will be Second Chance Indiana. And we have Molly here to share about that program or organization. And like I said, we'll do the 1 minute roundups, and that'll be your opportunity. So if you want to, in a preparation for the 1 minute roundup, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Feel free to drop your name and email, title, organization in the chat so you all can connect because we do really want this meeting to
You guys
serve as
got to
an
hear how
opportunity.
riveting this is.
Oh,
I
that's,
just did it wrong.
hey, at
Hey,
least you
I'm
were
so
saying
sorry, Heather.
something
Can you
good.
hear me? I
Yep.
did because I'm about to present at some point today, aren't I?
Yes, you are on the
It's
agenda.
gonna be riveting. You guys have a heads up. Sorry, I was late, Heather. We have an emergency with one of our team members, and I might have to jump off, but I wanted to get on as soon as I could.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for
So
being
I'll keep you
here.
in the loop. Yep.
And you are second, so hopefully we can get you.
Okay. Well, you guys look forward to it. It's coming up. Thanks.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, and then so we'll have all presenters will have about 10 minutes, including time for Q&A after each presentation. If you could please mute yourself until it's time for Q&A or during the 1 minute roundup if you're going to plug your organization, just to eliminate that background noise. I am recording this meeting, so it'll be available on the website next week sometime if you want to go back and review some information or share it with somebody who maybe wasn't able to attend. But there's something that you feel like they need to know about. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bruce for our first presentation.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Bruce Kelly. I'm the business development rep for Mockingbird Hill. And I have some slides here I'm going to share with you. Hopefully, we'll see how this works out. So I'm going to talk about our recovery center. I'm going to talk about our continuum of care, and then I'm also going to talk about Aspire as a whole company because we're all one company. Can you see that? Okay. Okay. So we're a 28-day residential substance abuse program. Our criteria is men only for 18 years and older. We're actually located in right outside of Anderson, so it's that first exit as you're going up 69. We're 5 minutes off the interstate. It's a beautiful campus. It's on 13 acres of woods. We have frisbee golf. It's as you can see from the picture, it's a nice building. It used to be an old music venue back in the 50s and 60s. That's why the name Mockingbird Hill, we kept it. There was Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton and all kinds of people played there, which was kind of cool. And then it became a church retreat for disabled adults. And we bought the property back in 2020 and did some remodel to it, but it already had a kitchen and it was kind of ready to go. So we even have a pool, which we don't use because we don't have a lifeguard, but we do have a pool. It's set up for 55 beds. It's in a dorm-like setting. We take primary Medicaid. If you don't have insurance, we can put you on a federally qualified scale, which, it's based on income. So we've had people have an $18,000 bill, get it down to $1,800. So it's usually not a barrier if they don't have insurance. We're ASAM level 3.5, 3.1. What that means is 20 hours of therapy a week at 3.5. If they want to stay another 21 days, we can drop them down to the 3.1 level. The therapy level drops down to 12 hours a week. But That way they can stay a little bit longer. Some people have to go and, they want to go somewhere else sometimes, but they don't know where they're going. So, whoops, let me go back here. I screwed that up already. Let me back this up here. Okay, so start this over again. There we go. We see clients medically within 24 hours. So we have a federally qualified medical center right inside of our facility. So we do a complete physical on them. We do a blood panel. We check them for HIV, Hep C, syphilis, all kinds of, and then we start a medical record for them, which they can transfer to another facility of ours. I like to say we serve the underserved. We don't usually have to turn anybody away. We are non-for-profit, which makes us patient-focused. And then I was talking about the therapy that's offered. The day they come in, we have a plan on their exit because 28 days is not enough to get through recovery. So we have a plan for them usually the day they walk in. If it's in our system, fine. If it isn't, we'll find them a place. So the next step, if they want to stay in our system, they go to Mockingbird for 28 days. They can go to Progress House, which is in Indianapolis. We own it. We bought it in 2019. It's been around, it's the gold standard of recovery residence. It's been around 60 years. They have 87 beds there. They're always on a 2-week wait. They're always full. But the best way to get into Progress House now is to go through Mockingbird first. It's the easiest way. They continue to get medical, behavioral health. We even have dental down there at Progress House, so that's unusual. So we keep the continuum going. They can stay there for up to 6 months, and then we have Next Step transitional living apartments in Indianapolis, so they can stay in our care for up to 2 years in the recovery process. And then this kind of shows the whole health continuum. Stable housing is important, so we keep them housed all the way through. We have peer supports at every location. We have primary care, behavioral health. Also, MAT is included, withdrawal management at all of our locations. And then we also work on employment. So when they go to Progress House, we absolutely get them a job. And if they want to continue their education, we can do that too. So we try to do everything under one roof, and that's kind of the little house there. That's what we're working towards. We've really added a lot of services in the last couple of years. So outpatient, we have 6 counties we're in now. We offer EOP at those locations. It's 2 days a week, 2.5 hours a week. And then we do individual and group. We have recovery coaches and peer support too. And we also, like I said, we offer MAT at all of our locations too. So what is our company? We're an independent, non-for-profit. We've been around 50 years in Indiana. We're committed to the whole health for the whole family. So we don't just treat the patient, we treat the whole family if they need help with therapy or anything else. We are a FQHC and also a CMHC. So we do behavioral health in these 6 counties now. We're the official person for that county. This is just an overview of some of the things we do. I'm glad we have a rack card because I can't keep track of it all. We do crisis service. We have same-day access now for medical, which we didn't have before. This year also, we just created our own pharmacy. We were using Genoa, and we own our own pharmacy now in all of our locations. We have mobile outreach clinic, so that's a mobile unit. They can test for blood pressure. They go to different areas. They go to libraries, and we can help take the services to the people. We do telehealth, deaf services, youth and family. We do a lot of school-based work. We just opened a women's clinic in Noblesville, so it can deal with substance abuse, pregnancy, and substance abuse. We have a whole clinic there for that now. And of course, social services. Our crisis continuum. So we have mobile outreach 24/7, 365 days a year. It's a two-person team, peer-led. Um, and there's also we're opening up what's called the Rely Center in October of this year. It's going to be in Noblesville. It's a 23-hour crisis center, destabilization center. It's a living room model. It's pretty cool. We're going to be at Crisis Con. We're doing a lot of tours out of there for this new facility, so people can go there and just chill, destabilize. If there'll be health people there, health providers, and also therapists, so we can get them the resources they need. We also are going to go out 90 minutes from this location, so we can pick people up in different counties and bring them back. So where are we? We have Marion, which is Indianapolis, Hamilton County. We're up in Carmel and Noblesville, Anderson and Elwood and Madison, Boone County, Hancock, and Shelby. We just added those for being the CMHC just in the last month. So we don't have a brick and mortar in either of those counties, but we're going to. It just hasn't happened yet. So this is my contact information. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'll take questions now if anybody has any. Be glad to.
Thank you, Bruce. Anybody have questions for Bruce? I have a couple, but I want to open it up to you all first. All right, then I'm going to jump on in there. Okay, so how many, let's see. Oh, how long can people stay at the Mockingbird? I think I missed that.
28 days. And
28
then if they
days.
want to drop down to the 3.1 level, we can keep them another 21 days.
Oh, okay.
Typically, they'll move out at the 3.5. We give everybody 3.5 level of care. We don't separate it, but
Hmm.
insurance will pay for another 3 weeks if we want to keep them there.
Oh, nice. Okay, and then so I love all the services y'all are offering, and especially being in 6 counties. I think that's great. So the Relay Center sounds great. So would you say that's similar to a respite center, although it looks like you're providing clinical services there or will be?
Are you familiar with stride centers that are around? There's one in Bloomington. There's one in Richmond. It's a
Mm-mm.
23-hour stabilization center.
Okay,
So
23 hours. That was another question. So it's for 23 hours. Okay.
we were told if they walked down the street and came back, we would take them back in again. So I don't
Okay.
think it's a barrier to stay longer. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not. We're not. I mean, there's going to be. We're going to have food there, water, a place just to chill, and get them the services they need instead of going to an ER or a library or wherever people go.
Right. Yeah, I think that's great. And then so if you already have marketing materials for that open house, would you please send them to Generi so we can add them to the website and then possibly even attend? I'd be really interested in checking that
Absolutely,
out. So thank,
absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so next on our agenda is a presentation about the Indiana Faith and Recovery Conference. So I don't know if Amy, that's going to be you or Eric, and if one of you have a PowerPoint that you want to share.
I was going to share a few assets while Amy's presenting, if that's okay, Heather.
Okay, so I'm gonna make you a co-host, and Amy, I'll just make you one just in case. Why not?
Thanks.
All right, well, take it away then.
So I'm sorry, Eric, what did you say you were going to share?
I'm going to share some stuff on my screen while you present. So I'm just going to bring up the
Oh,
flyer and the
okay.
websites and stuff. So you're good.
Perfect. Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. Amy Brinkley, Executive Director for Paul's Plan Ministries. And Eric and I are kind of co-presenting this. Didn't realize he had some slides I was going to share from the direct link or from the direct website, but if he has slides, we can go with that. So we're talking about we have our second annual Indiana Recovery and Faith Conference coming up on October 9th and 10th. So the conference was held last year in West Lafayette. And it was the first conference of its kind. And it was kind of born out of a vision of some other conferences that we've seen happening in other states that kind of brings the recovery and the faith recovery communities together in a way to kind of build collaboration and connection. So last year's conference was a huge success. We had the governor did a video for us and was a presenter. We had several other elected officials as presenters, and then we had two different tracks. We had a secular recovery track and then a faith-based recovery track, breakout speakers. And Chief Justice Rush was one of our key speakers. And it was a huge success. So this year's conference, like I said, is Thursday and Friday, October 9th and 10th. This year's conference is actually going to be held in Carmel. And so it's going to be at Mercy Road Church in Carmel, Indiana. And I don't know that I remember all the rates off the top of my head because I know if you can scroll down to the registration, I want to say there's $50 or $55 a ticket. We do have group rates. It's 55 per ticket. We do have group rates. So anyone that wants to get four more people together, the ticket price goes down to 35. We do have a lot of vendor booths. Well, I wouldn't say we have tons of booth space available, so it is kind of going quick. But we do still have space for vendor booths if folks are interested. Vendor booths come at $250, and it includes 5 people from your team who are able to come. And then we are still looking for sponsors. So we've had a couple pretty big sponsors come up this year. And so it just helps us put on the conference. It just helps to pay for food and all of the things that comes with planning a conference. The other thing to know, if you could go to the agenda, I just wanted to briefly, oh, that works too. So we do have a couple unique speakers this year. One is going to be Dr. Monty Burks. So Dr. Monty Burks was the person who spearheaded the Recovery and Church Network across the entire state of Tennessee. I almost said Indiana. Across the entire state of Tennessee. So what makes what he's going to share unique is that he is a person with direct experience. He worked with the Health Authority when he started this work, and Tennessee does not have regional recovery hubs or quite the RCO capacity that Indiana has. When he started his work, there was really not much of anything happening in that space. So the Recovery Church Network that they launched there kind of spearheaded the work happening across the state in terms of the recovery infrastructure. So he's going to talk a little bit about what they did in systems change work. We also have Tyson Priest, who's going to come. He's from the Lieutenant Governor's office, and he's going to talk a little bit about what they've been working on since they've basically created that office, and he'll be available for questions. I think he's going to be there both nights. And then we also have Sarah Sailors, DMHA's division director. And then we also, we have some really good speakers this year. We have Senator Kreider again. So this is year 2. Senator Kreider's coming back. And then our closeout speaker this year, if anybody was attending last year, you'll remember we had SAMHSA's Office of Recovery present, but the deputy director presented virtually from the DC area. This year, we have the deputy director coming in person. So Michael Askew will be attending this year, and he will be there in person, and he will be our closeout keynote speaker. And then we have several breakouts, including our very own Heather Rodriguez. So, Eric, I want to pause because I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about the pre-conference session.
Sure, thank you. Great to be with you guys. And Amy, you made that way better than I would have. So thank you for jumping on the call here. Yeah, we're really looking forward to this conference. It means a lot to me personally, and I don't know how many of you also work with your faith community or are part of a church, but my wife and I helped plant a church, the church we're doing it at this year, Mercy Road Carmel, 15 years ago, and just really have a heart for seeing our local churches get some of the the equipping, the training, join the conversation. There's so many families that are affected by this that are right there in our congregations. And unfortunately, the stigma is still really strong in a lot of faith communities. And it's because it kind of comes with the territory of Christians have a reputation of being a little judgy sometimes, and I'm one of them. So I get it. So I'm glad to have so many friends on this call right here, even who have helped me really better understand the complexity of substance abuse and also mental health, trauma, all the things that go into this. It's so complicated. And we just really wanted to see more of our faith community come to a conference like this, where these amazing communicators, speakers, and some of the representations from the recovery community have a chance to interface with them, and we can finally start meeting the needs of those in our faith communities better. Because I don't know how to say it any other way than coming from the faith community, we are lacking a lot of training and tools, and I don't think we know what we don't know yet. And so this is a big passion project for me, and I'm so grateful that Amy brought me on. So for Thursday night, what we're going to do though is actually have a kickoff event, which we're going to have some speakers that night as well. We're going to have live worship from the 2-8 band and some great worship leaders in the city to allow that expression of worship. And for those who aren't really a fan of that, or not necessarily on the Christian track of faith, but want to still be a part of Thursday night, we also have one of the hour-long edits of The Addict's Wake, and that'll be playing in one of the other breakout rooms. And that's a really powerful movie to just kind of help show how Indiana's been affected by a lot of the overdose epidemic. So we are looking forward to just opening the doors to our local church and bringing the other big part of my world, which is my recovery community, in to educate us. And I'm just so excited to learn and to also be able to help record what's being taught and share that weekend, so it can go further out into the faith community leaders' hands, hopefully throughout this year and next year. Does that help, Amy?
Yep, that was
Cool.
perfect. The only thing I would add is that Corey Joy, one of the creators of the documentary titled Addict's Wake, will also be the person screening the movie for us, and he will be facilitating some dialogue. And so I know that we've been having some local community conversations about getting that screening here in Lafayette, and it's not cheap. So that is part of the conference planning session. So unless there's any questions, was there anything else, Eric? I think that was kind of our update. Hope to see you guys there. If you have any questions about how to share with leadership on the importance of being there or being a sponsor or a vendor, I put a link in the chat that talks about what the purpose of the conference is. And that should empower you to kind of have some of those conversations.
Yeah, and I'll put the flyer in the chat if that's okay, Heather. I think it's a PDF. Should be able to add that. Love to hear any questions you guys have, and just from a place of being transparent. I mean, this is our second year, and so if you were a part of last year and you have any feedback or encouragement you'd like to share, we're just wide open to feedback and wanting to make this as great as it can be. We haven't seen a lot of models like this yet, and so we're trying to just really help the intersection of faith and recovery come together around our state. And yeah, just love to hear any questions you have, whether it's on the site. I'll put my email in here as well, so you can reach out to me directly. And yeah, just love to hear any obstacles you've come up against. Are you experiencing obstacles when you're trying to interface with faith leaders? We're just trying to address some of the things that are keeping us from working together. Thanks.
Thank you, Amy and Eric. Anybody have questions about the conference? I'm definitely biased because I'm also on the planning committee, along with being a presenter for the second year. I was one in the first year, but it is really a great conference. And I think bringing the two worlds together just makes so much sense, because I know I've seen it in the work I've done with RCOs around the state. A lot of times, the faith-based leaders and organizations are the only resource in a lot of communities, and they really want to serve people. And that's what we all do in the recovery field as well. And so it's really a good opportunity to connect and just educate and share and all those great things. So I'm
Yeah,
looking
I went.
forward to it. Oh, go ahead, Devin.
And I was gonna say I went last year, and I was extremely impressed. I really enjoyed myself. I learned different things. You had experts speaking. It was a lady there that taught us how to get grant funding. It was a lot. It was great. It was really amazing. I really enjoyed myself. I encourage everybody to attend. So it can only get better than year one. It's year two. So I'm excited to see what y'all got this year planned for us, how it all play out. But yeah.
Well,
Thank you, Devin.
All right, you got an endorsement from Devin Rush. There you go, guys. All right. Well, thank you both so much. And then, yep, just go click the links. Everything is in the chat, I believe. Reach out to Amy and or Eric if you have questions, want to be a sponsor or a vendor table. Looks like there's a lot of opportunities to get involved with that. So, okay. And then our last presenter is Second Chance Indiana. So I'll turn it over to you, Molly. I don't know, Stephanie, do you need access to share your screen too, or just Molly? Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, it's all yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm Molly Oliver, and Stephanie Ross is on as well. We work with Second Chance Indiana. And so today I'm going to tell you a little about us and our mission and what we're doing. I'm new to Zoom, but I think I can do this. Let me get my PowerPoint up here. Okay, content only, share. Okay. All right. So Second Chance Indiana is an organization that started out of a couple that was working with a community in Indianapolis. And as they were trying to essentially figure out, what was the cause of poverty, they ran into multiple situations where they saw that there was a high population of people who had some type of previous offense. And so that's really how Second Chance Indiana was born. Um, and they did a ton of different outreach in neighborhoods to try to understand what was happening. They published some articles, tried to gather the community around to have conversations about this. And one of the things that they were finding was that there was a huge need for jobs. So many of the people that were having difficulties were not employed. And oftentimes, this unemployment was leading to different challenges within their families and communities and populations with crime. So we know that getting a job shortly after release can reduce recidivism by 90%. So with that in mind, the effort was started to figure out how can we help reduce recidivism through the dignity of work, which is actually our mission. Um, and it was shown that almost 60% of reentrants do not have a reliable way to get back and forth to work. So that brought us to understanding Indiana employers and how there are many jobs and the jobs are not being filled, and that if employers can work with this reduced this population that it is a hidden talent, really, that they could increase their workforce as well as assist those coming out of incarceration or coming back into reentry. So Second Chance Indiana has evolved since the beginning. Obviously, they started out thinking that they knew one thing and throughout the process learned and moved and evolved. And so now we are doing work in training. So we have a director of training that is in Duval Residential Center, which is in Indianapolis. And he provides job preparation courses for them. And then also in the Marion County Jail. We are trying to expand that across the state. All of our programs were statewide. So we started here and we're slowly moving out. We are developing a mentoring program currently, as well as connecting with transportation partners. I think I got a notification that, sorry, I don't know if you guys can see what just popped up on my screen. There we go. So transportation partners, we're also working with places like Commute with Enterprise, where we can set up a way to have an employer or an organization essentially rent a vehicle. And then through the funding that we have through the state, we're able to reimburse for those costs to take people back and forth to work. And all of this has been made possible through many strategic partnerships. So of course, working with, all of the different types of justice involvement organizations. We have done a study with Butler University And in that study, it shows that there's no significant difference between someone who has a criminal background or record and someone who does not as far as work performance. So we have some like proof in the pudding that we try to use to reduce the stigma. And then of course, we also are working with this year, really the Indiana Recovery Network and the recovery hubs. We've gotten well connected across the state, which has helped us to, build some of our new van pools, and I'll kind of get to that in a minute. We are also working with trusted mentors, and they are who is helping us with getting matched with mentors for the folks that are completing the programming in Duval and in the Marion County Jail, and essentially at some point as we move out across the state. And then the reentry transportation partners. So without reentry transportation partners, van pool participation, back in the day when we first started, we didn't even have vans. We had no way to get people back and forth to work. So half of the reentrants that we could help get hired, they couldn't even maintain the employment because they couldn't get back and forth to work. And so that's really where partnering with, we started with employers, partnering with them, and we still work with employers as far as getting the van set up, but we are also expanding to not just work with employers, but we work with recovery hubs. So for example, there's like two maps here, and this is an employer, and this kind of shows a route of what it would look like from, let's say they pick up from Hendricks County Work Release, they go to work, they come back. And then you've got this example over here, which is Light Recovery Hub, which is in Warsaw. They have a 7-passenger van and multiple different stops and places of employment. And so since we've started using that kind of model of moving into the recovery space, our van pool has really, really increased across the state. And so next week we're beginning a van at Safe Haven in Lawrence County. We started 2 vans, I think just last week, with Inspiration Ministries, which is out in Noble County and DeKalb County. And Synergy Recovery is right in Marion County. And then of course we've got Light, and we have a waiting list of over 13. Almost all of them are recovery related organizations that are already doing some type of transportation and could really use the help in maintaining it and helping it become sustainable. We also work with other types of transportation too. As we're expanding, we're considering, how do bus passes play into areas that are bigger cities? How do the Lyft program, for example, we are starting to try to figure out how do we refer more people that are in those bigger cities that they could utilize that. So we're really trying to expand our transportation as well as, our opportunities for employers to participate in being a part of our referral process for those with justice impacted backgrounds. We have a job counselor currently who his focus is mainly on Marion County, but they do take calls from all across the state and try to assist with finding employment as well as any of those job readiness skills that you need when you're first entering back into society and you're just not sure how to navigate. Maybe a smartphone wasn't a thing, and you came out and now there's these smartphones. It's like, what do I do with this? How do I utilize this? So they were really there to assist with that as well. And then of course, in considering the work we do, of course, our mission is about people, but I think some people want to see what is the economic cost? What are the dollars that we're putting towards this? And so if we look at that and we look at even a 10% decrease in how much money that could save us by using reentry programs like the ones that we utilize and working with other organizations like the Indiana Recovery Network and FSSA, we can help reduce that cost, but we can also consider the social costs. So just a little, women make up about 10% of the total of incarcerated men, but a missing dad or mom is equally bad for kids. So you have to consider the total picture as far as families and how it impacts generation upon generation and how we can reduce that as well. And then, of course, the most successful way to stop recidivism is to help reincidents find a job with a living wage, and then help them get back and forth to work, help them with housing, the wraparound services. So a lot of the things that we don't do, we know that there are organizations like many of you that are on this call that we can connect people with and try to help them with the pieces that we're not able to help with. So that's really Second Chance Indiana. And I try to go fast because I'm a slow talker normally, and my presentations are usually not 10 minutes. So really tried on that. Um, but I got our contact information for myself, the transportation coordinator, and then actually our job counselor and our website. I will drop this in the notes, and you guys are welcome to reach out with any questions. But if there's anything I can help you with today, then, of course, I'm open to it.
Thank you, Molly. You did a great
Mhm.
job fitting all that information into a short
Okay.
presentation. So wonderful. Does anybody have questions for Molly? Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys had connected with the courts, since there's the problem-solving courts and the reentry courts and things. I wasn't sure if you had connected with them or the higher program with parole. That might be organizations that could definitely use it. I know we try to use hire as much as we can in reentry court, but this seems like an amazing organization that even having a person in the courtroom on Fridays would be possible.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we have connected directly with the court portion of it, but I know that we do have some contacts that different members of my team have been in communication with as far as hire and helping get connected to employment. If there's anything, Zach, that you would want to send our way for us to connect, I'd be happy to get that set up.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else have questions for Molly about Second Chance? I have a couple, but I want to open the floor to you all. Okay. So the transportation program, and I know we've met and spoke about it. I think it's amazing. And I know you say you have a wait list. So is it a matter of, and this might sound kind of obvious or be an obvious question, but is it a matter of funding to secure the vehicles to then pass along? Okay, that's kind of what I thought. So if there is an opportunity,
Yeah, it's
let's
a
say,
funding.
isn't it always? So if there is like, let's say an organization, there's like a funding opportunity and they want, and it has a transportation piece. Do you all partner with other organizations to be a co-recipient on a grant underneath one? Okay, just wanted to ask about that.
Yeah,
And
we
then,
definitely would be open to that. Yep.
okay, and then for the job counselors, and I was taking notes, so I might have missed it. Did you say that was only in Marion County? Is it statewide or is it just in multiple counties?
Statewide, the focus is primarily Marion County at the moment because we have one person. And we are still expanding our resources and our places of employment to add to our online website as well across the state. But anybody can call in and we will certainly try to help get them connected. And especially with the recovery hubs now knowing where they're at and where they're located. Sometimes if it's something we can't quite figure out, we know now that we can refer and go back and say, hey, we don't know what to do. What can you help us with that? So, but yes, definitely anybody can call.
Okay, great. That's all I had.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, thank you all. Oh, Devin, you got a question or comment?
I'm just trying to get some clarification. Did you say that Trusted Mentors was a part of Second Chance Indiana?
We're
Um,
partnering with them. Yep.
like partnering with them. You said that's just located in Indianapolis, correct?
hmm But
All
that is
right.
something that we want to expand to other parts. But I know right now with the pilot of it just starting, it's really happening right here. But at some point, the goal is to have that happening all across the state. Yeah.
I've heard a little bit about it before, but I don't know a lot of the details. So what are the age ranges for the Trusted Mentor program? Do you know where it starts at and where it ends at? Like,
I am not sure myself, but I can easily get that information. So I can write down your contact and let you know.
all
Right.
right. At
Are you
mhai.net
asking for are you asking for someone to participate in as a mentor or are you looking for a mentee?
for mentees.
Okay.
For
Okay.
mentees, seeing the age range for the mentees.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole list of questions that'll come after that. After I know, I
Okay.
just was trying to, you know, yeah, but appreciate you.
Well, we'll talk.
Yes, if you haven't already, Devin, feel free to add your email and name in the chat, and then Molly and Stephanie, if you haven't done so already, you may have. I haven't kept up with the chat, just trying to focus, but yes, by all means, do connect. All right. Well, thank you so much for that presentation and all the presentations today. Have a nice variety, and it's always good to know what's going on around the state and connect with each other. So we do have time for the 1 minute roundups. So this is your opportunity to share information about your programs, services. So if you could raise your virtual hand or physical hand, and I'll call on you all. So name your name, name of organization, where are you located? Because that's really important because we're all over the state. And then plug away whatever it is you want to share, even if it's an upcoming event. It's Recovery Month. We know a lot of stuff is still happening, right? And so please do share that information. So anybody want to go first? No pressure, but go ahead, Jen. You're muted.
Yeah, there we go. Hi, everybody. Jen Banese, project coordinator with Mental Health America of Indiana, Indiana Recovery Network. You all get emails from me all the time. I am going to give another huge plug to our Recovery Rally finale. That is going to be next Saturday, September 27th, 2 to 4 p.m. It is at P30, which is very easily accessible off of I-70 and Post Road. Heather and I were just out there yesterday checking out the space and looking over everything. It is a beautiful space, tons of parking. There is some indoors and the outdoors with that. We would love to see everybody there. We've got some great vendors. We do have some vendor spaces available still. And we are very excited for this. We've got some cool things coming up for that, some amazing speakers, and we would love to just continue to see you. And then also, I will be sending out a follow-up email that will have all of this information, everybody's contact information in the presentation. So be looking for that from me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Anybody else would like to share? I'm also going to drop a link in the chat. So I dropped a link for the vendor registrations. Like Jen said, we still have a couple of vendor spots open. And then if you haven't yet, check out the IRN events page because we are adding that as events, are still happening throughout this month and even for next month. So, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hello, I'm Jeremy. I'm the Transitional Healthcare Manager for Mental Health of America of Indiana, Indiana Forensic Services. I think I said Indiana twice there. I don't know why. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that I will be attending Mockingbird Hills event. So I'll see you tomorrow, Bruce. And also Saturday, I will be at the Voices of Recovery Safe Haven event in Orleans, Indiana tomorrow, Saturday. So just letting you know about that event as well.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, the name changes is going to take a minute for us all to get used to. All right. Anybody else want to share if you're attending an event or being a vendor at an event, anything? Diane? You're always all over the state. Nothing? You taking it easy this month? And good for you if you are.
Well, the only thing I can have, I'm Diane with Parents of Addicted Loved One. We're a national faith-based nonprofit that provides free weekly meetings to parents and family members and friends that love or care of an adult loved one with substance use disorder. And we provide peer-to-peer support, education, and hope. And the only thing I can think of right now for PAL is, since we're national, we do have a YouTube channel. So a lot of good discussions on there, from those in recovery to addiction specialists. So if you know of anyone that can't make a meeting, we have 16 meetings here in Indiana. So, and we have one in Spanish. We have 5 online meetings a week, and we do have one in Spanish. And I think that's one of our underserved communities is a Spanish community. So, if you know anyone, that needs support and, from that community, please reach out to them and let them know that we do have a support group in Spanish. So it's palgroup.org. So thank you, Heather. See you at the Recovery Faith Convention event. Eric can't wait. Can't wait.
Thank you, Diane. Didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but thanks for sharing. Okay, anybody else want to share anything that's coming up for your organizations? If not, then I'm gonna also go ahead and plug an event for one of our member orgs. So I will be at 320's annual Ride for Recovery this upcoming Saturday. So if you're in Chesterton, stop by and check that one out. And then our next meeting will be October 16th, same time, same link. And if you would like to get on the agenda for an upcoming meeting and do a presentation, just reach out to Jen or I. And we'd like to get you plugged in to do a presentation. And with that, I'll give you back the rest of your day. I hope we will see you at our rally at the end of this month. And thanks for joining us, everybody. So happy Recovery Month.
Happy Recovery Month.